Emergency order in place this morning grounding the Boeing 737 MAX fleet. It's going to impact thousands of travelers, hundreds of flights, especially some right here in our area. So what do you need to know? Well, aviation expert Alberto Riva joining us this morning to help flyers really navigate through this mess. So good morning to you. Thanks for coming in this morning, Alberto.
Good morning, Ben.
First, let's talk about what airlines really are affected the most by this emergency order to stop flights. I can't remember the last time the president grounded flights since like September 11th.
The last grounding was in 2013 when the Boeing 787 was grounded for 3 months because batteries caught fire. But no one was hurt at that time. The grounding lasted about 3 months.
So in this case, what airlines are affected?
Only 3 airlines. It's Southwest, American, and United. Altogether, they have about 77 MAXes. So it's not that many planes overall affected by this. It's a very small number of airplanes overall.
But it's hundreds of flights nationwide that are going to be canceled.
Hundreds
right now.
nationwide, yes.
So what cities are impacted the most by this? New York being one of them.
New York is one, then Houston, Los Angeles, Hawaii, Florida. Those are the most affected cities by the grounding.
So I think there's confusion right now. People looking at their flights saying, how do I know if I'm booked on a MAX 8? One of my colleagues just this morning was saying, I don't know if I'm booked on a MAX 8. So how would people know? Are they being contacted?
The airlines would most likely contact everybody who's booked on a MAX and tell them, these are your options for rebooking. We can put you on such and such flight. So you will not find out at the airport at the last minute. You will know beforehand.
So they're being required now to book those passengers on another flight. It's their responsibility.
Yes. When you buy a ticket, it's a contract. It's a binding contract. So airlines will get you one way or the other, maybe not when you thought you were getting there, maybe a few hours late, maybe the next day in some cases, but they will get you there.
So what are the consumers' rights here?
The consumers' rights are essentially, again, a ticket is a contract. So the airlines are bound to take you to point B from point A when you buy a ticket. Again, they may not do it on the same day or the same time you thought, because there are operational constraints. They have to find other planes to substitute for the MAXs that are grounded, but they will get you there one way or the other.
Okay, and it just seemed like it took so long for the U.S. to ground. All the other countries are doing it. What was the final straw, do you think, that said, okay, we have to ground these planes?
When Canada announced on Wednesday, yesterday, around 11 a.m. Eastern Time, they were grounding the MAX, the U.S. was the lone holdout in the whole world not grounding the MAXs. That was untenable, and the FAA had to act, which they did shortly afterwards, a couple hours later.
All right, Alberto, thank you so much for coming in this morning. We appreciate you always and your expertise. And I think the big thing is the airline is responsible for getting those passengers rebooked.